Okay, welcome to our Tanya learning session. We are holding in chapter 26. Perfect chapter for Erev Sukkot. It's all about Simcha, serving Hashem with Simcha, bringing Kiheles, bringing all the Torah that's shaykh to the Zman we are in. And as everything is with Hashgacha Pratis, I'm actually learning in Shir David, and I just want to comment on a few Yeshuas and Nisim, the Floros that have happened. Obviously, everything's not just whatever, it's very specific, it's all divine providence. When my son's tefillin in the first week of action in Lebanon were damaged through different conditions there, and I was very concerned when he gave it Bochus ben Mash, we dedicate to his Shmir Alyon, and all the soldiers there in Lebanon, they're now on their second Messima, second mission over there. And after watching some of the footage from the last one, it is beyond words what is going on over there. And they're literally wrestling with the terrain, with the enemy, and it's beyond. You can't really say it on a podcast like this. But his tefillin were in a not good shape. Baruch Hashem, thanks to other chesodim from this beautiful community, we already had a spare pair that we've been using for other soldiers to be able to wear. And a few times when he wasn't able to bring his tefillin back, he used the spare pair. So that was been very helpful, and he's gone back with that spare pair. We also needed now more protective casing based on the fact that this is the first time his tefillin had been damaged due to the war. After 11 months in Gaza, there was no issue, but now in Lebanon, because the terrain is much harder, even his DJI was, one of the screens was cracked, so we'll have to get that fixed at some point. Once again, if anyone wants to sponsor anything, they're always welcome to reach out. One of the big parts of Tanya right now is Sukkot David Hanafolis, talking about doing charity to Eretz Yisrael. So my son being in the army, we're always looking for sponsorship. For example, his glasses got broken, their 2,000 shekel pair. That was also in Lebanon. The whole intensity of it has led to a lot of damage to a lot of equipment, even though they did get, thank God, a lot of donations of new vests, new helmet, new equipment has come, but there's always more to get. For example, we need to buy for the DJI a better way of putting it, of standing it and connecting it to his clothing or helmet. So we need a donation for that. We need a donation for glasses, a few thousand shekels, and we also need a donation towards the general upkeep of all his equipment and fixing the DJI screen that was cracked. Up until now, everything, Baruch Hashem, has been easier, but this part of the war is another level. We need to step up in our simcha and our vodas. We're learning in Tanya. This is the 26th chapter, and it's all about wrestling with the HaTorah. That was the last time we learned, and the idea of having a broken spirit, a broken heart. Literally, when I saw his DJI, I thought I'd actually broken it because I dropped the DJI when I was downloading the footage. I thought I'd broken it, so I felt like my heart broke when that happened. But then he told me it was already from the action; it wasn't me. As I come Bereisha Dikra, the Shmini Sosim Hasimcha Shevi Li Sosin Hashiva Li Sosin Yishach Ruach Nediva. Says the Tanya. This is in lessons in Tanya. Already a little bit into the Torah of 26. This is the Chitas of the 21st Shvat or Rosh Chodesh Adar, depending on which Seder. And it's page 344 in Lessons in Tanya. The idea that Hashem will give us the joy and gladness and restore to your salvation and support me with generous spirit. This is all going to bring out the profitable aspect of the bitterness we have over what we have to do the first part of Tishrei with the tshuva, B'yira and tshuva b'ava, and now we're in the tshuva b'simcha, focusing on a simcha. So I want to carry on a story that just a shout out to justoneChesed.org and also the general Shir David community as well as a frat, that we needed these tefillin cases. So I asked around, I got about 10 different responses of people wanting to give a case. Someone bought one the next day for Shachris, Erev Yom Tov, which is always a busy time, and very appreciated, and he's using that case right now. And shout out to that person. He's a big part of Shir David, and he's a big learner, Baruch Hashem. And it should be a schus for him as well as obviously my son Shmira. And we're using the tefillin case. And then I needed to get the tefillin fixed. So I mentioned that in a previous podcast in terms of the, if you look in the description and the picture, so there was a kind sofa in the area who volunteered his time. And that was a connection also from Shir David. And he fixed the tefillin, and he said, Baruch Hashem, the writing is exquisite. These are tefillin from the Talmud Rebbe. It's a very high level tefillin, and Baruch Hashem, there was no internal damage, so the external has all been fixed. He took out the cloth, checked everything. Everything's in kosher standard, and now externally the bottom, everything, and the tzuas, which we were learning about yesterday, we're looking tomorrow, are all fixed, Baruch Hashem. And now he has kosher Mahuda tefillin that will switch when he comes back next time. Please go safely, and the spare ones will remain spare. And we have a second case, that's from Just One Chesed, that they gave straight away as well. The next day, Yosef Aaron kindly dropped around. Shout out to Yosef Aaron. And we have the opportunity also to realize that with all these chasodim and connecting to tefillin, and the idea of having everything according to kashrus and the kindness involved and the energy of the community, the chag. Chag is the Rosh Tevis, chesed and gevura. It's the idea of mamtik all the dinim, bringing down the chasodim into the gevuras, elevating the gevuras through chasodim, through the kindness, the charity that people are doing around here, the tzedakah, the chesed, the opportunity to Baruch Hashem to become more established there and to be able to have ability to live close to the shul that will be happening Hanukkah, and just to realize all the Yeshuas that are going on constantly, all the Shemira Eliona that's going on with the soldiers, and all those Hashem Shemenu who were lost. We dedicate the learning to their neshamas and Ilya Nishmas. Zeh tam hapashat tikkun Arizal lama mizmo zeh achet tikkun chatzos kodem alimid. So the Arizals Chusalena would recite Rav Yitzchak Luria, which interestingly his katzin, the commander of his unit, is Luria. His mishpach is Luria. So my son has a Luria, the same name as the family of the Arizal, and I think he is a descendant from the Arizal because I checked. I think even his first name is Yitzhak, which is interesting. But the idea that the person leading him is a Luria in Lebanon right now as we speak. Should be Sasa de Shema. So the Psalm, so you recite the Psalm after. So the Tidnichat Sos is a midnight prayer, midnight rabbi, before resuming one's Torah study. So you have to say a tefillah of turning the bitterness, the sadness into simcha. This is the profits that we're making, the big bucks at this time of year. As Mansum Chasenu this is a time to rejoice, a Lulav and Esrog, dancing and jumping around Makifim, Hashanas, and going into the Sukkah, Mokum Simcha, a place where you realize the Ikka is the Ruchnis, not the Gashmis. The Ikka is the Hashem Yisbrach's protection, the Omakifim, the light, the Kanfeh, Shechina, the constant protection that we get all the time in our life. And to tune into this kind of light, not only the Chesed Hashem, the Asavavenu, that the kindness surrounds us, but the concept of that we're being hugged, we're being loved. One of the things that when I mentioned someone, Lahavdil Elef Millionim Havdalas, but he came to Eretz Yisrael and he was looking for Yeshua himself, Shine Po, and he ended up by my house in Simchas Torah, and I mentioned this Torah that Hashem is hugging us with his right hand and pushing away the negative with the left. He had a lot of negativity pushed away. He was in prison 10 years. He was an associate of P. Daddy, Machshamam, who's going through tremendous Baruch Hashem judgment right now, which is rightfully so, and all the people around him as well. But there's a certain mishpat going on, and what attracted Shine to me to work with him personally, and the concept of Yiddishkeit, of bringing close and pushing away the negative. Now, I don't know if he ended up fulfilling that, but the Torah has always been something that Sukkot, it's like a hug. Hashem is surrounding us and giving us a hug and pushing away the negativity for us, like a loving father, Avinu Avarachaman. And this is the big avoda of Tishrei, is to tune in to the tremendous love. And this Tichnei Sos is the time of Avelis. We're mourning for the Churban Beis English. We're mourning for our own Churbanos, our own breakings, our own sufferings. But at the same time, we're turning it around to by being mishtatif in the Sa'ad Shechina, that will be zok to see the Yeshuas and the Nechamas, and that's a fixing of this. And not only that, to turn the Simcha, using it as a ability for us to keep strong in our internal world. K'dei lelimud b'simcha mitis b'Hashem habo acha atzev. In order that one should study with true joy in God, that succeeds remorse of the Tichnei Sos. Shlei simcha zu yesurin or haba min hachoshech dafka. Such joy is of greater quality than the joy which is not preceded by sadness, similar to distinctive quality of light which follows darkness. See, the idea of turning darkness into light, this is the big avodah Zarkosh brings. And again, we just had, we're going to bring Keheles and Sefer Devarim. These are all, the Fiyaz Man, everything's working out And this is the fixing of what happened last Simchas Torah, October 7th, turning the darkness, turning the pain and suffering into light, into an awakening. As I mentioned, my father will be going to Sukkot tomorrow night. That people are more awake spiritually, and this is what Hashem is bringing out the darkness, squeezing out the olives, the zaytim of Zayah, where we live right now. Please God. The zaytim should bring out a greater light. Kosa Bezorah Pasuk, Ra'isi Shiesh Yisurin, Lachach Mamina Siklis, Ki Yisurin O, Chilo Ein Sham, V'dalim Avan. Zohar comments on this verse from Shlomo Melech that the soul wisdom surpasses foolishness, as light surpasses darkness. No, and that will suffice for him who understands. The Zohar asks, does it take Solomon to see this? And the answer, the intent of the verse is just as darkness contributes to light, for we cannot truly appreciate light unless we've experienced darkness, so does foolishness contribute to the appreciation of wisdom. Similarly, in our case, one only has sadness and adds strength to the joy which follows it. And this is a profit of sadness. So that's how it is a hindrance in one's service of God. So if we only stay with sadness, God forbid, then that's a hindrance. That's not going to hold us back from serving God. But if we realize that sadness is just part of the process to get us to the simcha, to get us to the moments of the vekas, the moments of clarity, the moments of misakim, ruchniim, and all kinds of goodies and yummy moments of sukkahs, Balena the Tova and Simchas Torah, should be simcha amitis this year. Please God, we really have to mechaven. This year we dance and we have it in all our koyach, the simcha mitzvahs of dancing with the Torah, internalizing everything we've gone through from this past year and all that's going to be coming forward, going ahead towards Mashiach, please God, to tune into the simcha, yesera, the extra level of joy that comes out from this pain and darkness, the extra level of light, the awe that's going to be coming out. As it says, that the darkness is greatest before the dawn, the idea, the tremendous choshech that comes before Mashiach, a Pnei Tom, this tremendous the overwhelming darkness that what happened before we came out of Mitzrayim, the Machas Choshech, and then there was the Machas B'choros, the idea that we have to go through this Choshech and this pain and suffering, and it comes out from that the tremendous gilui of Geula Shlema, of redemption, of united souls, of joining together as in people, as a soul. And we have to have the intelligence, as Shlomo Melech's bringing out, that the foolishness will bring us to true chokhmah, and the light will bring us, the darkness will lead to light, and it's part of the process. It's not staying with the darkness or the pain or the foolishness. It's elevating. It's going through that process, and a yid has that throughout the year and every day of his life, with the idea of Tinchat Sos. There's a time for Velis, a specific time to mourn the Churban, to mourn the destruction. And then we go from that, we jump out of it with joy, because that's what Hashem wants. If there's Hashem b'simcha, wants to serve Him b'simcha. I was discussing it before, based on the Baal Shem Tov we learned in the podcast previously, the simcha, the joy, amiti we have to have. You know, one of the things I was thinking, like letting go, based on Moshe Gersh, you can check it out, his podcast on this in Blackshire, connecting to Hashem. These are important guests we had over here in Shir David, because they bring us a lot of clarity at this time of year. Relationship with Hashem, how important that is, and relationship with letting go and aligning ourselves, becoming more Yishrei Leiv, more straight from the heart. This kind of simcha that it generates, this is a true simcha mitis, that we need to bind ourselves to. And Baruch Hashem, with the bookings, there's not as much going on as there could be, like a lot of potentials that didn't work out. But one of the beautiful things is that you learn to have a munah with panasa and everything is meant to be what it's supposed to be, and you focus in on the fact that you have the opportunity to serve Hashem, and everything will come together in the right time, in the right way. And you have to have Emunah B'tachin, that Hashem is like a father, Av, Emunah B'tachin, and Rosh Tevis Av, and also aim, that there's a tremendous love, the mothers, like we say, is gathering us up, as you mentioned, Hazinu, like the Nesha is gathering up its sucklings and protecting them. We're being, through the Sukkah is protection, Shmira, because it comes and protects us this time of year. The Muhammad's Gog and Magog, that we're getting protected during this time of war. And we have to envision that Anaya covered, that cloud of glory over our families, over our soldiers, over Am Yisrael, this tremendous protective cloud of honor of Hashem, the honoring of God through our commitment to keep His word and to sameach ourselves during Sukkot. And that's the whole avoda. So the mikra mali dava kosev tachas Hashem lo yivadatos Hashem elakecha b'simcha v'goyma. Furthermore, the verse states explicitly, and this couldn't be any more hashgacha pratis, and we just mentioned it this morning from one of the people in front of me, because you did not serve Hashem, your Lord, with joy, with simcha. So that's why we ended up with all the klalas Hashem that we learned about Pashki Sava. We were talking about it today as one of the main lukoris of Simcha in the Torah. V'noda l'kol perish arizal al pasuk there, and we all know that everyone is familiar with the explanation of arizal, because you did not serve Hashem with joy from the abundance of everything good. The still mean when you had abundance of everything good, you did not serve Hashem with joy. But the arizal person, you did not serve Hashem with great joy, greater than caused by an abundance of everything. We see from above, serving God joyfully. Yet many things in my life by physical experience may cause them sadness. The HaTorah has proposed a meaningful combat in the sense that one may always be joyful. This is it. This is the avodah of Simcha. So all the abundance didn't cause you to have joy. Abundance is important, and we daven for abundance so we can have everything we need. But it's the mindset, the machshava. We have to learn how to think correctly and process life correctly so we can choose Simcha. As we mentioned, it's a choice. Agach mimei the alma filu b'nei chai mezinei. Sound advice has been offered by a sage on cleansing one's heart of all sadness, any trace of worry about mundane matters, even a sadness or worry caused by the lack of such essentials, children, health, or livelihood. Just as one recites a blessing for the good, who is good and does good, so must also blessing for the nisyonos, for the difficulties. The Perish b'Gemara kabei b'simcha kumo smachta tova negilis and neiris. The Gemara explains that it does not mean that we recite the same blessing for the present case, God forbid. Blessed are you, the true judge. Rather, the implication is one should accept misfortune with joy, like the joy in a visible and obvious good. And that's one of the big things by Chabad. They give each other bracha, that it should be negalis veniris. It should be revealed and seen, obvious good. So that's the kind of bracha that Rosh Shlomo mentioned on Yom Tov that we should be blessed with this year. Not just the one we have to have a munah in, but one that we see, it's revealed. We should be blessed with that kind of, and be b'simcha either way. Yigamzeh l'tova, everything's l'tova. Like this, the song's going viral from Avorish apparently. I remember we were talking about it a lot on the podcast all those years ago. The Emunah is our future podcast. We mentioned again and again the concept of Hashem loves us, Hashem is good, and it will get better and better. Yeah, for so too is for the good, except that it's not apparent and visible to the mortal eyes, for it stems from what? The hidden spiritual world, Kihu ba'alma deskasya, Shemala ma'alma deskalia, which is higher than the revealed world, which divides an apparent revealed good. So apparently the hidden spiritual world is even higher than the revealed spiritual world. So it actually has a higher level, higher shorish, which means we're actually experiencing a more closer level of relationship with Hashem during times where things are hidden. Shuvav hey misham havaya baruch hu the amiskasi hu yudke. So the revealed world comes from the osius of the Shem havaya vavke, which is a more lower level of expression, whereas the yudke is the higher level, and that's the Geras Tshuva which talks about this, and all the different alamas. We say this every Yom Revi. In the Shir Hayom of the Beis Hamikdash, this is also meaning of the verse. Happy is a man who's spelled Yud K, give Musa to. Sometimes you're going to get, Musa. My wife was giving me a bit of Musa today about some of the things. I did once again. I'm at a point where Baruch Hashem married almost 23 years. I try not to take it too personally. Something Gedalia Fence is talking a lot about, learning not to take things personally. Baruch Hashem, and allow the Musa to come and fix you and help you, wake you up a little bit. And to be respectful and caring and empathetic, all the right things. But the point is that it's there to happy as a man who Hashem gives these kind of musa, these moments of challenges. The Chen Amar Zal ki smeichem yisurim. A sage has best said that you have to be happy with your suffering. As it says in the rest of the pasuk in Shoftim and Tehillim. And the Shaykh Limuna is explaining, those who love him shall be as the sun when it comes out in the might. Refers to the reward of those who rejoice in their afflictions. God always rewards man measure for measure, says in the 348 lessons in Tanya. Yeah, and this affliction, the sun, the Alter Rebbe now explains that since misfortune is really nothing but a disguise for the higher form of good derived from the hidden world, The ultimate matter whether it will bring man either joy or misery depends on his priorities. If he deems his physical life all important, he will be miserable. Yeah, and we know Sukkot. We're going out our house. We're going into some form of golus. We're actually going up north to Tveria. You go to somewhere, you go away from your usual situation. You go out into this hut, into this temporary dwelling, dira aroi, a temporary dwelling, and you remind yourself that the ikar is not the physical. The ikar is not your fixed things. And people that over ishtadl to make sure everything's perfect physically are missing the point. That's not the avodah of sukkah. It's not just about fretting or a whole different. We have to tune into a higher level of what sukkah is. They're reminding us that we're in the neshama. The kovod asfercha, as Rav Mottel Zuber once explained, Aaron Cohen's Nakuda was tuning into the neshama, the soul level. We're writing about United Souls, getting more spiritually focused, so that will bring us to a more simchadic understanding. We're letting go of all the ties we have to this world. We do what we have to do, shtadlus-wise, to elevate the world, but we're not caught up with the results of how this world, the amount of people listening to this podcast or anything we're doing. It's not about the numbers, even though the world says it's about the numbers. It's about serving Hashem with simcha, and that means priorities are correct. The primary concern is to rejoice nearest to God is found in greater measure in the hidden world. So then the hidden world is gavaldik. So these people who samech with their yisurim, it's because they're tuned into that higher level of revelation of Hashem, and therefore they don't take it personally. They're not, God forbid, sad from the sufferings they're going through. They realize it's an opportunity to connect to Hashem in a different light, in a different way, a different aspect of their relationship that's being elevated that moment. Just like in marriage, if you start to realize all the different ways that you interact, they're all for the good, they're all for the coming close in the relationship. It can't always be romance. I mean, romance is not even a Jewish concept. We have to really try and develop more and more of this inner panemius connection of the inner worlds of what's going on, an inner understanding of our life, and bringing out the glory to those who love Him, the glory of the Sukkah, the glory of Hashem that are now covered all the way around Eretz Yisrael, around our soldiers in Lebanon. Hashem's with the Kamfei Shechinah is protecting us. Yeah, so it says here, 4-letter divine names of God's essence, who's compared to a son. The name Elohim signifies God as He is clothed and concealed in a great universe. That's how this pasuk, as it says in Shayich and Amunah. There's this Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is Hashem revealing Himself, and then that's the Son, and then there's the name Elohim signifying as He's clothed and concealed in the creative universe. It's shielding the creative being's intensity of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. A sun and a shield are respectively Hashem, the 4-letter, and Elohim. In the world to come, the sun will emerge from its shield. The 4-letter name is no longer be veiled by Elohim, and it will shine forth as a reward to those who love Him. This, in summary, is an explanation contained in the following paragraphs. But one's joy and affliction stems from the fact that being near to God is dearer to Him than anything of life of this world. For your loving kindness is better than life. Hashem he seis mala ein kates ba'alma dekasya. Kishem chavion uzo v'yusha b'seisa elyon. Now the nearest to God is infinitely greater and more sublime in the hidden worlds, for there the concealment of His power is lodged. It's also written the Most High abides in secrecy. Since the idea that the highest revelation is in a hidden place, is a source of seeming affliction, but really is Hashem who loves those who love Hashem, rejoices in it. For it represents the great and the nearest to Hashem. So you see these people, and I mentioned yesterday, Yushalayim, the ones with the chovas, with the Yisurim. You see these old Yidden, these Mesharim Yidden, these people of Amunah, B'tochen, they walk around doing chesed all day and learning and davening and connecting to Hashem. And they do their shtadlus as well, but they have these big debts they've developed, and they don't let the debt take away their simcha. They don't let all the manias, all the different, because they're tuned into a higher understanding that this is rejoicing in Hashem's love, even in the higher worlds and the hidden worlds. Now, obviously, I'm a practical person. I want to daven that we should all be blessed with everything good, as Shlomo said. Yom Tov, should see it, reveal it. Don't have to do this whole inner avoda as much as the previous generations. We're getting close to Mashiach. The Shem Havai is being revealed in its full grandeur as we get closer now to Mashiach. Therefore it's found and worthy of seeing the sun emerging in its might in the world to come, where the sun will emerge from the sheaf, which is hidden in the world and be revealed. Soulful besilo sel chachma shebechin sel v'lo oira tova v'niris v'day lahavin. What an amazing way to end off this section of Tanya right now. That we're going to hold off for finishing off the Perek for next time, maybe during the Chag or after. We'll see. But the idea, he says, this beautiful concept that this means it was presently the hidden world will then be revealed, and it will shine forth and glow in great intense revelation upon all who seek refuge in him. And this world taking shelter in his shadow, the cell. Yeah, this is cell. What's the cell? The cell of the skach. The cell of Amunah. Yeah, the shadow of wisdom. Here it says the cell of Chokhmah. This is the idea, the state of shade as opposed to revealed light and goodness. They find shelter and refuge in that experience, presents an external appearance of shade and darkness, whereas the light and goodness contains concealed. This is significant for an understanding. So let's think about it. The sukkah, we're sitting in the cell of the sukkah, where we're experiencing the aura of Hashem in the cell of the sukkah. The kochav, chaf, base, chaf, vav, chaf, vav, chaf, base is a kochav, is a star. Shem Havaya, and the 22 letters of the Aleph base. So there's a Sifrei Chassidim. So the idea that we're tapping into the Shem Havaya, tapping into the stars that come through the cell, but in a way that we can internalize that light, that all makif is real for us, that we can start to internalize it through the lulav and esrog, through the avodah of sukkos. This is man simcha saying to internalize the simcha of all this manim and this asif in. We're bringing together the Chag Asif, we're bringing together all the shef and all the bracha from the year before, so we can have a blessed new year. All the pain and darkness turn into light and joy. This is the avodah of Zman Simcha of Tafshin Pei Hey, and this is the Balatani's chizuk to begala from the hidden places, the soul, the Or Hashem, to realize the suffering, the challenges we're having are just bringing us closer to Him, bringing us more and more the vekas to what's priority in life, the soul level, the neshama, the kavod Hashem, and to bring that out more and more in our lives, in our homes, in our sukkahs, in our dancing this year, please God, in our inner nishmas to all the souls who moved on from this world, and please God, we should only hear Vaita Besoros Tovus, revealed good, and we'll be dancing with Mashiach Sekenu, and the forbidden by Shlishi, and so just like my bottom were fixed of the tefillin, the houses of the tefillin were fixed. These two beautiful tefillins are now ready to go back on my son's head and heart to Mekadesh, all the different parts of him. So too, please God, after these two Beis HaMikdashim and all the destruction we've gone through, we should turn it around, Sosin Yishecha, to reveal the joy and the Yeshua in everything, and see the by Shlishi, the third house, built, restored to its full glory. And please God, it's already there in Shemayim. It's just a matter of us bringing